Reid, a name that should be banned by his defeat in the Senate. Well, he was on the floor today, and then he went to the Senate, and he was on that floor too. And here in part is what this idiot had to say. Cut 2, go.
The Patent and Copyright Office today
took
away all the trademarks. The Redskins no longer have trademarks.
Stop. Now, you just heard me explain that the Redskins do have trademarks. That they had trademarks before they filed for federal registration, and they have trademarks regardless of what this board does, under common law. Harry Reid is an idiot. And if some of you, not you in the audience, you know who I mean, the drones, the libs, the goofballs, the knuckleheads, if you act on what Harry Reid said, you will undoubtedly be sued, and you will undoubtedly lose your pants. Or your skirt. Go ahead.
They're gone. And so, as I understand the law, the presiding officer wants to use the name Redskin and sells them shirts, you can do that.
Stop. What? This is what I mean, ladies and gentlemen. This is the decline of America. This guy is a lawyer. He's probably been a defendant from time to time, too. But he is a lawyer. And he goes on the Senate floor. He knows he's protected by the speech and debate clause, and he says whatever the hell he wants to. But he's a moron. He's in the early stages, if not the mid stages of dementia, I would argue. And so he's going on and on about something he knows nothing about, which I guess is quite routine for him. The Redskins do have the name and the mark, and nobody can take it from them. They're appealing the federal registration of the trademark, and that's got years to go, but they're still free to use that too. They haven't lost anything. Zero. I know that upsets you, libs. I know you're really into stealing private property rights. I know you really want to redistribute wealth. I get all that. And have you noticed, Mr. Producer, the only citizens who are ever attacked in the United States Congress, day in and day out, are what? People who do not contribute to the Democrat Party, people who might be Republican, conservative, libertarian, independent, but they're not hardcore left-wing Democrats. They're never talked about. You wouldn't know that they have millionaires and billionaires. You wouldn't know that they own teams with funny names. You wouldn't know that they're involved in all kinds of crap. And you don't hear it on the Senate floor and the House floor. You hear the Koch brothers. You hear Dan Snyder. You hear Halliburton. You hear this and that. Yeah, it's pathetic. Bunch of Stalinist morons. Go ahead.
No trademark anymore for the Redskins.
Yes, they do, you creep. Go ahead.
Daniel Snyder may be the last person in the world to realize this, but it's just a matter of time until he's forced to do the right thing and change the name.
Stop. Daniel Snyder, what? Well, is Harry Reid transgendering, Mr. Producer? I have to ask the question. It's on my mind. Is he turning into Minnie Mouse? What the hell's going on here? I'm not done with this. Those out and in government distract us. While they're stealing our health care, while they're destroying citizenship with what's going on the border, while they're fundamentally transforming this nation in so many ways I can't even count them anymore, they'll distract us. They know really basketball, quite frankly, is our football is our national pastime. It's really not baseball anymore. It's certainly not basketball. What with all the racism in basketball, of course. But it's football. And for me, it's football and the UFC, but that's a whole nother story. So here we are. And I'm having to explain today, like nobody else did and can, what exactly took place today. This is a fig leaf victory. A 2-to-1 vote by 3 bureaucrats. It'll go to federal court over federal registration of a trademark. 6 registrations. But it is a trademark that cannot be eliminated. It can be removed from the federal books, but it cannot be removed, period. There's an ownership right. There's a property right in it. So I want you to hear Harry Reid again, what a complete dimwit this man is, as he continues to move from the early stages of dementia into his own little world. Cut 2, go.
The Patent and Copyright Office...
And I might add, I believe he's transgendering. Can't prove it any more than he could have proved that Mitt Romney didn't pay his taxes, which was a lie on Harry Reid's part. So here we go. I insist... just my opinion, based on the circumstantial evidence of his female-like voice, that Harry Reid is transgendering into Minnie Mouse. Go ahead.
The Patent and Copyright Office today took away all the trademarks. The Redskins no longer have trademarks.
Lie, buffoon.
They're gone. And so, as I understand the law...
You don't. You're a dimwit.
The presiding officer wants to use the name Redskin and sells them shirts, you can do that.
Stop. Who is the presiding officer? She or he want to sell Redskin shirts? Is that right, Harry? I'm not so sure about that, Harry. As a matter of fact, that would be illegal. Go ahead.
Trademark anymore for the Redskins. Daniel Snyder may be the last person in the world to realize this, but it's just a matter of time until he's forced to do the right thing and change the name.
Stop. You see that? There's the iron fist of a tyrant. Harry Reid has no business spending 1 nanosecond of time on this. Congress has no business spending 1 nanosecond of time on this. This Harry Reid is blocking bill after bill after bill. He can't get his job done. He won't get his job done. He's the handmaiden to Barack Obama, if you will. He is a nasty old man, and Congress is taking up an issue they have no right to take up whatsoever. Who cares what his opinion is of an NFL team or an owner? I can assure you, if Daniel Snyder was the majority and managing owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the liberal Rooney, most of them are conservatives, but the liberal one, he wouldn't be attacked like this. And Rooney's not attacked. By the way, Mr. Producer, the New York Giants, you're a New York Giants fan, aren't you? Or are you a Jets fan? You're a Steelers fan. How about you, Mr. Call Screener? Well, you're a Redskins fan. Okay, you New York Giants fans out there. Do you understand how you're offending midgets and dwarfs? I'm just saying. And by the way, the Midget Association of America, don't write me. I don't care. But these people, they have to go to the Giants game. Oh, the Giants, the Giants, the Giants. Well, what about them? They must be offended as hell. Wait a minute. The Giants? That's not fair. Anyway, go ahead, please.
The leader on this issue is the junior senator from the state of Washington. Senator Cantwell has been tireless in showing the American people how unfair it is for the Redskins name to be used as it is. And I think she's one of the leading causes that the U.S. Patent and Copyright Office said it's no longer a trademark.
Whoa, slow that one down. So Harry Reid said that Senator Cantwell is one of the leading reasons the, in essence, administrative law judges, that's in effect what they are, ruled as they did 2-1 on this trademark board. So Harry Reid has said for the whole world to hear, including you folks, that a politician, Cantwell, had influence over what are supposed to be the objective decisions of what are, in essence, administrative law judges at the Trademark and Patent Office. That would be worth looking into as well. Now, this Senator Cantwell, of course, is a complete hypocrite, as most liberals are. They can't help it. I've got a story here of Bill and Hillary Clinton using a loophole, may I say, to pay less taxes. And I'll get to that later should I have time. But Maria Cantwell, I have a story in front of me from the Wall Street Journal Market Watch. She's been leading the charge to get rid of this name. She hasn't been leading the charge to save the nation as a result of this massive debt. No, instead she votes for the massive debt. She hasn't been leading the charge to secure the border, where we have third world refugees, tens of thousands coming across the border. Not a word. She hasn't been leading the charge to give us our health care back. No, she voted to steal it from us. But by God, she's the leader in the anti-Redskins movement, and for that she deserves our applause. Another dimwit. Senator Maria Cantwell, Washington State, recently circulated a letter among her fellow Democrats demanding the Washington Redskins change their name for being offensive and disrespectful to Native Americans. Let's see here. Cantwell told the Washington Compost she was appalled during a 2013 playoff game between the Redskins and her home state Seattle Seahawks. According to the Post, she said the presentation of the Washington team was just shocking to me. So apparently she never heard of the Washington Redskins before. She just shows up at a game, happens to be the playoffs. Gee, I wonder how she got those tickets. But anyway, happens to be the playoffs, and wait a minute, there's a team called the Redskins? Yes, since like the 1930s. Oh my God, I've got to put an end to this. Cantwell might have been shocked earlier in her life. Cantwell, you see, grew up in Indianapolis. city that I happen to love. I've only been there once, but I like that town. Cantwell attended the Emerich Manual High School. Mark, what? Stick with me. And perhaps not surprisingly, in a state called Indiana. Wait a minute. Indiana, like India, Anna, Indian, Anna? And in a city called Indianapolis. Wait a minute. Indianapolis? Indiana, Indianapolis? The school's mascot is Indian-themed. In fact, its mascot, Mr. Producer, Mr. Call Screener, America, is the Redskins. She went to a high school in Indiana, in Indianapolis, where the high school mascot, and she went to this high school, is the Redskins. Now, I'm not done. Cantwell later attended Miami University of Ohio, graduating in 1980. Interestingly enough, Miami University used a Redskins mascot at the time. Seems to me she's attracted to the name Redskins. From pre-pubescent times to full-fledged puberty to post-puberty, high school, college, now she's obsessed with them again. It's not clear whether Cantwell ever raised any objections while attending either school. Miami University dropped the logo in 1997 after a tribe that had sanctioned its use withdrew its support. Now, as we pointed out here a couple of weeks ago, at least several dozen high schools around the country, including in Washington State, still use Redskins as their team mascot. As a matter of fact, several schools on Indian reservations, Native American reservations, I don't know how to say it anymore, use the name Redskin. More than a dozen use the term Braves, as does Atlanta's baseball team. The team name Indians, well, that would be Cleveland's baseball team. And that name is all over the country. Hundreds of high schools and middle schools, Indians. The liberals just need to give out a list and tell us what words we're not allowed to use anymore. Like freedom and private property rights and the Constitution and profit and success and happiness and joy. Just tell us what words we're allowed to use. Inequality, darkness, dreariness, racism, genitalia. Those are the preferred names. But tell us what words, what names we're not allowed to use, would you please? So we can all get it straight. There's a school on the Navajo Reservation. Red Mesa High School. 100% Native Americans. It's also the largest population and reservation in the country of Native Americans. And they have a sign there at the high school. And there's a vertical part of the sign that says Redskins. Then there's a horizontal part of the sign. And on that horizontal part of the sign, they have like a board to put things. But they also have the Redskins logo, the logo of the football team, the Redskins. What I'm trying to say here, ladies and gentlemen, every single Native American doesn't support this, but there's a hell of a lot of Native Americans who reject this attack on the name Redskins and on this football team. Most of the people taking this up are Caucasianoids, are very, very light-skinned white liberals who are trying to politicize this, who are trying to turn out a vote. That's why Harry Reid brings this up day in and day out. That's why Barack Obama, while the Middle East is doing what it's doing and the country is unraveling, is talking about gay rights and gay marriage. What? That's like number 412 on the list. Wow, well, we got to get it going, kids. The truth is, nobody gives a crap about this. And yet it is endless, isn't it, on the news outlets and so forth? This is why the news is so phony. Here's what the news is. It goes from a liberal politician to a liberal reporter, and then they spew it. There it is. That's the news.